Hi lady, I hope that you found the last video helpful and the work of discerning the difference between emotional hunger cues versus physical hunger cues to really help you understand when you're turning to food out of an emotional need. I know that it was really helpful for me in creating a space or a pause when I recognized that it was an emotional hunger cue so that I could go deeper and look at what was actually going on underneath. And often when we do go deeper, we find that there's an uncomfortable and painful emotion there. And we've been taught somewhere along the line to suppress our emotions and not feel them, right? And food is the most easily accessible, socially acceptable drug in the world. And as with any drug, we're using it to numb that uncomfortable and emotional feeling. We're using it to shift our state so we don't have to feel what we're experiencing, right? And you know, we get all these messages growing up about good girls don't cry, or anger is not good. If you express anger, then you're a you know what, right? And so it becomes this habit that we have, and we might not even be aware that we're doing it. And so at this point you might be going, oh great, okay, so now that I've uncovered the emotions, what the heck do I do with them? And that's what I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about observation versus identification. So what happens most of the time is we identify with our emotions. And what this means is we start to create stories around them and make meaning of why they're there. So what happens with this is those stories intensify the emotion. And then the intensified emotion, we start to create more stories, and there's more thoughts going on in our mind, which intensifies the emotion even more. And as you can see, we get stuck in this vicious cycle with our emotions and our thoughts and our emotions and our thoughts. And this is when it starts to feel unbearable and we turn to food to numb. But when we actually feel emotions in our body, it's not like a lot of people think, well, if I feel this, it's going to be too unbearable. It's going to take me back to where I was. And that's not the truth. Our body can handle a lot more emotionality than our mind thinks it can. So when we actually feel it in our body, we have to step into observation. And observation is not attaching to the thoughts or the emotions, but just feeling the emotion in our body. Observing the thoughts, but not letting our mind go into story around them. And this can take a lot of work, but this is why presence is needed. Once we have presence, we can start to do this work of recognizing, okay, it's an emotional hunger cue. Okay, what is the emotion underneath? And then once we've got the emotion, we can start to feel it in our body. And what really helps me is noticing where in my body I'm feeling it. And that helps keep me in my body rather than coming up into my head and then letting the story spiral. Also, what you can do is instead of identifying with emotion, like instead of saying, I am anxious, I am sad, I am depressed, you can shift it to, I'm experiencing anxiety, I am experiencing sadness, I am experiencing depression. And what this does is it helps you step into that state of observation, right? So you're not identifying with the emotion. You're not making that emotion about you. You're not making it mean anything about you, right? It's just something that you're experiencing. Because the thing is, we have all sorts of emotions that shift throughout the day. They can come from different places, and that's a topic for another video. But what happens when we're not feeling emotion in our body and we're stuck in our head is that we're kind of in this gray zone, right? We're kind of numb. We don't experience the full extent to what our body is actually capable of experiencing. We have this wide range of emotions, and if we don't go into the depth of the pain in our body, we're never going to experience the depth of the joy and lightness that we can access, right? And this is essentially what we're looking for when we're turning to diets and trying to control our body. We're looking for a feeling, and diets and controlling our body can't get us that. But when we actually start to do this emotional work, we can access that lightness. So I'm going to gift you a meditation to help you get into observation. I'm going to walk you through a process of getting into your body and feeling emotion in your body so that you can be in that state of observation. But if you are interested in diving deeper into this work, I would love to hop on a one-on-one discovery call to see where you're at, where you're wanting to go, and if we'd be a good fit to work together. So shoot me an email to the email below, and I'd love to set that up. In the meantime, I would love to hear what you thought of this concept of observation versus identification and how you found it has helped you.